two in one. But speak thou the things which become it sound doctrine, that the aged women likewise, that they be in behavior, as become it holiness, not false accusers, not given too much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed. Chaste conversations.
Okay. All praises to the Most High. Shalom. Welcome back to Chaste Conversations. My name is Sister Nasia. I have in the room with us tonight beautiful Sister Chaya, Sister Rabah, Sister Deborah, and Sister Larissa. We have a topic of discussion tonight is filling up to pour out. Sister Larissa, I know your week's been going well, but if not this week, last month, for the year at all, what is something that has made you feel drained or depleted?
So, good evening. I will say that something that has made me feel drained over the past, I would say 2 weeks, was having a difficult conversations about me being in a truth with a long time friend she's not understanding. That has been a challenge for me over the past 2 weeks, is just having difficult conversations with a long-term friend who is not in the truth. And because I am so new to my journey, it felt more like a debate. And so for me, that was very challenging. And I definitely had to get in the word more, pray more. And I have had, a side conversation with someone in the truth to, kind of just bounce some things off of them as well.
Okay. Wow. So that's been going on for the past few weeks, you said?
Yes.
All right. And so you answered the second part of the question already in what you said, because I was going to ask you, what did you do in that sense? Because you said it was, am I using the correct word when I say a little frustrating for you? Okay.
It was extremely frustrating. Yes.
Right. And so you found in doing that, in the back and forth with your friend, that you found yourself having to go to the book to kind of reassure yourself in what you were saying and making sure you were coming correctly. Is that?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also to get the word, it consoled me during that time too. Because although I was frustrated with the conversation and how it was going, it left me feeling a little uneasy in a lot of ways. And so just going back to the word and reading the things that I know to be true, it gave me a lot of consolation. Yeah, I was comforted by it.
That is the gist of the topic for tonight, ladies. Filling yourself up, your vessel, so you can then pour out, okay, what you have, because we cannot give if we don't have anything to give, okay? If we're defeated, depleted, just out on low, on empty, you can't, efficiently put out the things you need to put out. So in a sense, I like what you said, because with all that debating and the uneasiness, the uncomfortability, it was a lot. You might have been here and full of it, and oh, I'm gonna tell her, and it's just gonna be so, and she's gonna get it, and it's probably giving you goosebumps, and you're like, you know, and then it was like, because she
Right.
wasn't receiving it like you thought she would have, maybe, or it was hard for
Hmm.
her to get these things, and so that does that will do this to us, okay? But then you have
Hmm.
to, like you did, run back to the word and fill right back up, okay?
Right.
Right?
Right. Exactly. Hmm.
All praises. Anybody else have any others, that you'd like to share with us on what made you, or what makes you feel depleted? It could be even on a daily basis.
This heat and these children. I mean, I'm just that's a joke. Maybe
this,
not the heat. This
this
heat
heat
is
ain't
making me
no
feel
joke.
depleted.
There. This heat
It's
ain't
hot.
no joke.
It's hot. I had one similar, and it was one of those things where family member, not untrue, but they shared some stuff with me, and it brought me back to a previous conversation, and it made me feel all frustrated again because it was stuff that is like, we've talked about this before, or I thought you was working on it, or it just made me feel a little sad inside of like, we still. And these are just like everyday occurrences of like, even when you think back to when you make a mistake, or you think about something like, dang, I didn't think about it, and now in your head it's in the front, and you're trying to make sure you don't like make that mistake, like you don't trip up again. That's just like with any little thing or any daily task. But interacting with someone else about something that you can kind of refer to biblically, it was frustrating because I was like, I thought I was over it, and then some stuff had come up, and I was just listening and listening. So I guess my reaction to this one was less communicating. Like, I didn't talk as much.
Okay.
I let them talk, and I didn't have questions to what was going on because it wasn't as new as it was the first time, I should say. And
Okay.
so I learned from that, but then it still made me upset. I was just like, oh, okay, I got to do something about this. I can't be living my life being upset over some of this stuff. But it made me sad to hear, like, it almost sounded like that person realized it too, but did it anyway. I was like, oh man,
Okay.
okay. So that was kind of like a feeling, and I don't, it's resolved, but it was just one of those things where it came up again, and I was like, oh shoot, I didn't know I was still bothered by this.
Okay. Okay. So again, things, and that was one of the top two things I had down, was just family and friends, especially those that are not obviously walking the same walk you're on right now. Maybe not just seeing eye to eye. Those are the things, like it says in the book, like the more we realize, the more we see, because we have the eyes to see, the more grief and sorrow and pain it is, because we're having to deal with, you know, um, the ones without, so to speak, the ones that don't have that knowledge yet, right? So it can be very depleting. All right. And in that case, what do we do? So let's go ahead and start with Sister Larissa, Sister Deborah. If you mind starting us out on Isaiah chapter 40, verse 29 to 31.
29 through 31.
Yes.
He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might. He increaseth strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint.
Fine. All right, I should have started with that, but good a time as any. But again, so we're going through these things, and it says, the youth shall fail and be weary. Okay, it didn't say they might fail. all right, that they might be weary, you will be. Okay, you will be. He gave power to the faint. Okay, so when in any situation you're just feeling, whew, I don't know if I could take another step. I don't know if I could say another word because it's, or whatever it may be. He will give you that power where you can keep going. Doesn't matter if your friends are coming against you, debating against you, your family, you're going through this. It seems like this, we hear again another year, we hear again another month. Okay. He's going to give you that power to pull through. Okay. And increase your strength. I'm going to follow that up with Isaiah 41:10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yeah, I will help thee. Yeah, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Okay? So we have to go through these things. We have to go through these hard conversations and these hard topics and these hard, brick walls, it seems at times, right? And what does a brick wall do once you run into it? Or sometimes it feels like you run into a brick wall. It's just like, ooh, that knocked me. But I ain't staying down. You know what I'm saying? Like Larissa said, let me run to the word and fill back up so I could run again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's exactly what the topic is about, ladies, because in some way, shape, or form, we are going through things that are depleting us. And for some of us, we might not be seeing that it's depleting us a little bit. You know how they say, fill your cup up with wine, fill your cup up with water, with his word. And by the time you're ready to go take another step, you realize, oh, you stumbling a little bit. Why is that? Because you didn't realize that you needed to fill back up from what you just went through previously. Okay. So we have to make sure that we're putting the Most High first and always starting off with making sure our cup is full. Okay. Make sure your cup, and that's why it's important. Like our we're always told, when you get up in the morning, what's the first thing you should do?
Give thanks.
Pray and give thanks. Time.
Yeah.
All right. Fill that cup. Fill it. Because you got to go out throughout the day. Put your breastplate and that armor on, right? And then that's why we do our prayers throughout the day. You have to replenish. You might have your book while you're in the car, your the audio, listening to it, something, the videos. That's filling you up. It is filling you up and arming you. Okay. Again, if we can get you to go to Psalms 119, verse 28. Yes.
My soul melted for heaviness. Strength thou me according to thy word.
Fun. Ladies, we're going to go through some things. We are going through some things right now, but we're going to be going through some things. Okay. And your soul is melting for heaviness, or will be melting for heaviness. Again, whether it's your family members, even some of us in our marriages. Okay. Some of us with our children.
Yes.
Okay. Your soul will melt for the heaviness. You're a robot if you're not feeling that heaviness and that burden on you. Okay. It says, strengthen thou me according to thy word. To thy word. There go again. That water, come and get. Make sure you're asking for this. Listen, I cannot do this on my own. I need you to fill me up, fill me up. Y'all heard that song? I love it. If y'all ain't heard it, I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay, please.
It is so beautiful. That heaviness. I don't know about y'all, but like when I see the youth, even with some of my older children, I can't force them to walk this way. It's a constant battle, even with close family. We're not in the same boat, let alone sometimes in the same ocean. I don't know what lake they're riding on, but it's just, you know, we just ain't seen. There's a whole mountain between us. So it's heavy because you want your friends and family to reap its benefits. You want them to see this light and feel this glory, and and so yes, it's going to make you feel, it's going to take something from you. But and it is going to take something from you. We have feelings. We have feelings. It's okay to feel that way, but we have to keep moving. We got to keep going. Fine. Sister Chaya, I see your hand raised.
Kind as you were talking, I was looking at Proverbs, and Proverbs chapter 4 verse 4 says, "He taught me also and said unto me, let your heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live." It'll go on a few more passages or verses and still kind of like edify you. But then I went down to verse 22, and it said, "For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh."
Help. God.
Keep your and last one, 23. "Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life."
Mm.
Mm.
25.
What was that?
25.
Oh, read 25 too. Yep. "Let your
Mhm.
eyes look right on,
That's right,
and
right.
let your eyelids look straight before you." Yep. "Ponder the path of your feet, and let all your ways be established." I kept skipping through. I was like, okay, I don't know how many I'm gonna write down, but comma.
God.
Yeah, that whole thing. Yeah.
Right. Yes, I love that. "Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee." Because you don't want to get lost in that. You don't want to get lost in it, right? In the cares and the worries and the stress and the
Right.
debating and the misunderstanding and the back and forth and the not seeing. You don't want to get drowned in that. All right. Some people are dealing with stress in any way, shape, or form. Stress. So Psalms 94:19 says, Salakia, "In the multitude of my thoughts within me, thy comforts delight my soul." Because that stress and anxiety will have you thinking, leaning on your own understanding sometimes, just in your head, in your own head, okay? Being questioning yourself, okay? Even questioning your faith, right? A lot of the times in these debates we be having with friends and family, we're like, well, hold on, now you gotta have your sword right next to you, because the devil will try it. So in the multitude of my thoughts, right, within me, thy comforts delight my soul. That is what I got out of that. So don't stress on those things. Don't let the stress and anxiety drift you off out into the ocean where now your feet are not grounded. Okay. And so Proverbs 12:25. I'm gonna have you read that, Sister Deborah, in a second. Proverbs 12:25. If we can go there real quick. Says, "Heaviness in the heart of man make it a stoop, but a good word maketh it glad." Okay. Heaviness in the heart make it a stoop. What is stoop? Like to kind of stumble or fall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or you kind of
Excuse me,
crouch.
sis. What was that scripture, please?
This was Proverbs 12:25.
Thank you.
And we're still talking about things like the stress and anxieties from wherever it comes from. Maybe you're just working so much, so you're not able to really give 100% of yourself. So you might feel a little depleted, a little, just I just can't. you know what? I was supposed to be here tonight, but I can't make it because you work so much today, you know. Your family issues or whatever it is, it just has you feeling a little bit lonely because they're not there with you to really experience any of this with you. You feel alone. You feel like the outcast, right? That in itself will have you feeling a little bit, I mean, let's be real. And some of us
Ready
might
to
be
walk
over that
away from
already.
it all.
Right.
Walk away from everything. Just be like,
Right.
never mind, leave me alone.
And that's what we gotta do. Leave me. Let me go replenish myself a little bit. Let me go replenish myself. Okay. So we're getting to the point of where it is we're needing to fill up. We're needing to fill up. And you cannot do that first and foremost without his word. Okay. All right. So Sister Deborah, if you could read for me the 1 Corinthians 7:34.
Okay, 1 Corinthians 7:34. There is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman cared for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy, both in body and in spirit. But she that is married cared for the things of the world, how she may please her husband.
Okay. So this is a big one because what I said in our marriages, some of us are married to someone that's in the truth, also walking in this word. Some of us are not. Okay. And don't be discouraged. Okay. The scripture says that the believing spouse sanctifies the unbelieving. Okay. So keep doing what you need to do, and the Most High will do his work. All right. But I brought this out because not to neglect marriages at all, because listen, there's a difference between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy in body and spirit. But she that is married now careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. So you have to, as a married woman, you got to make sure that you're filling yourself up so that you can pour out into your husband. And you cannot give to your sister Chaya is giving to her children right now. Okay. You have to have something of substance to be able to pour out to them. If she was not, let's say, if she was on E, what would we be able to give to our children? What would we be able to give to our husbands? And a lot of us are not thinking about that because, for example, Shalom. Oh no, audio. We don't think about that. A lot of the times we okay. So this example right here, we get up in the morning. We make sure that our hair is done, makeup's done. We got everything that we need. Shalom says we got everything that we need, and we're looking good to start the day at work, right? But then you know what does work do to you by the end of the day when you're done clocked out? You here now. Okay, your edges ain't smooth out like they used to be, like they was started. Edges is gone. Okay. You're just depleted. It's sweaty, it's hot, it's been a long day, you're stressed out, your head wrap probably shifted to the left, it's not where it was. And so now we're coming home now to stick with where we've been reading in 1 Corinthians 7:34. We're coming home now, looking like this, feeling like this, now to pour into our husbands. How can we really, you see what I'm saying? So again, the topic, filling up to pour out. It says here, this married woman cared for the things of the world, how she pleases her husband. So if this is you, married woman, you have to make sure that you're doing this. Okay. No matter if you work in the 8 to 5, 9 to 5, or if you're a stay-at-home mom, which is a big job, and the kids running you ragged, your curlers can't even stand. Okay. You have to make sure that throughout the day, you are making sure that your cup does not run empty. Because you have to be able to give what your portion, okay, to your husband, to your household. You can't come home and say, well, I ain't cooking dinner because I've been working all day, right? That's not gonna work. You gotta find it. You gotta find it, girl. If you clocked out, you better get in the car and read whatever script you gotta read, or call sister so and so with the wisdom and get your cup filled up again before you get home, right? When you're filling up that gas tank to get back home, baby, filling up your spirit and making sure you go back in the mirror and fix them edges before you get home, to hubby. Okay, fill yourself back up.
Proverbs 15, verse 13. A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken.
But a merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance. Whatever you got to do, and for most of us, we know now that just diving into this book, putting on our Hebrew truth music, listening to some gospels, a lot of the times just talking to another wiser sister, it fills you back up. Like,
Yes.
like, oh, shoot. Like, what stress? What? You know what I'm saying? No. Okay. But now I can go again. I can go again. That's what's up.
James chapter 1 verse 2. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations.
That's it.
Is that it?
That's it. You should. We don't see it like that when you're going through it. Yeah, Proverbs 17:22. And then I'm going to go to Psalm 6, verse 6. You got that, Sister Deborah?
Yes, 17:22.
Yes.
17:22.
A merry heart
Proverbs 17.
A merry heart does it good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones.
You hear that again?
Mm-hmm.
A merry heart is like medicine. And you're only gonna find this when you're full, not when you're depleted, not when you're defeated, not when you let yourself your cup run dry. Who can you give to at that time?
Not when you dry. Nobody.
Right? You're not good to yourself or anybody when you let your cup run dry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have to be filling our cups up, ladies. We have to. And again, the hardest thing is to realize that our cups are running dry. That's one of the main things. That's why we don't get filled. That's why we don't fill ourselves up, because we're not realizing that we are getting depleted every day. Every day. So how often do you use your car? Every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't use a car, you're taking a bus, or you're using your legs. You might be walking. So you're doing that every day. You are getting depleted. Your temple is the same thing. There's nothing that the Most High created that just stays stagnant. Everything is moving. The ocean is going back and forth. The sun and moon are doing the back and forth. Okay. And so we're constantly moving. So you will be depleted at some point. But while you're on this marathon, you know how on those marathons, they have the little things where the tables every so often, and you could stop and get some Gatorade. Mm-hmm. That's what we have to do. We can't go and go and go. We can't debate, or go back and forth and not replenish ourselves. Right? Make sure you're doing this for yourself, because you're no good for anybody if you're not first filled. You can't give. It says charity. Charity covers a multitude of sins, right?
Mhm.
How can you give if you have nothing to give? Okay, so you have to make sure, we have to make sure we're filling ourselves up. And so when you don't even recognize it, you shouldn't even be recognizing it. Might be saying this wrong. You shouldn't even let yourself get to that point, because every day we should be doing, waking up and praying, doing our 9 a.m., doing our 12 p.m., doing our 3 p.m. Some of you might do more throughout the day, right? Maybe at 6 p.m. And then you listen to your music throughout the day. You just making, you're just filling the whole house with the tunes going. It's flowing. Some of us are depleted because we do not gather with like-minded individuals.
Yes.
Some of us are depleted because we neglect ourselves from that.
Absolutely.
And we wonder what you said, sis?
That's absolutely.
Yes. And we wonder why we're not able to give as much, why we're not able to grow, So make sure we're doing these things, taking care of home. Taking care of home first means your temple first. You're not good to anybody else. I can't edify another sister if I don't have my cup full with the right words, with the, and with charity and with meekness and with the fruits of the spirit. All these things need to be in my cup so you can give. All right. Yes, please.
Psalm 6 verse 6 says, I am weary with my groaning. All the night make I my bed to swim.
I think you could read 7
I
too.
water my couch. Okay. I water my couch with my tears. Mine eye is consumed because of grief. It waxes old because of all mine enemies.
That precept right there just makes me want to cry.
Mhm.
A lot of us sisters are going through things that are really sad. Sometimes they feel alone. They are crying in their beds at night, whatever reason it is. Whatever it is. Okay. Keep your spirit filled, keep yourself filled, because you still need to run this marathon. You still have to run it. Okay.
So like, you just mentioned that because we keep wanting to fill up our points or fill up our cups. And just after reading Psalm 6, Psalm 5, 8 through 9 will say the same thing, right? Because a lot of us, since we're not geographically close to many people, the biggest muscle outside of our brain that we have that we're using is our mouth, right? I don't want to say the biggest muscle, but the most that we're using is our mouth. And so if we're drained physically from all the other things or mentally from all the other things, we may have so much to say, but we just aren't able to say it. And that scripture just says, lead me, Yahweh, excuse me, lead me. I'll just read it all the way. Lead me, O Lord, in thy righteousness because of mine enemies. Make thy way straight before my face. Verse 9, for there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is very wickedness. Their throat is an open sepulcher. They flatter with their tongue. And we're constantly surrounded by people like that, that may bring that out of us if we used to be like that and we're trying to correct ourselves, or if we've never been like that and we just hear whatever's coming out because we're going back to scripture, trying to hold ourselves upright in that. And we're constantly surrounded by that. Sometimes you're just too tired to speak, or you're trying to stay energized enough to speak so that you can edify the people around you.
Right. And like in Proverbs 15:4, it says a wholesome tongue is a tree of life. So you have to know when to speak. You got to know when to. Sometimes wisdom is not saying anything at all. You save it till the last, just like the scripture says. A wise man knows when to hold it in, knows when to say what he needs to say. And sometimes that could just be one word. It could just be one word. You don't got to say a whole lot. So let's go ahead and go to 1 Samuel. And then we're going to read in chapter 1, verse 1 to 20.
Okay, chapter 1, verse 1. Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim Zophim of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zoph, an Ephraite. And he had two wives. The name of the one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. And this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And the two sons of Eli and Hophni and Phinehas, priests of the Lord, were there. And when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave to Peninnah, his wife, and to all her sons and her daughters portions. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but the Lord had shut up her womb.
Verse 6.
1 through 5.
And her and her adversary also provoked her sore, for to make her fret, because the the Lord has shut up her womb. Verse 7. And as he did so year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, so she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. Then said Elkanah her husband to her, Hannah, why weepest thou? And why eatest thou not? And why is your heart grieved? Am not I better to you than 10 sons? So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by a post of the temple of the Lord. And she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed unto the Lord, and wept sore. And she vowed a vow, and said, O Lord of hosts, if thou will indeed look on the affliction of thine handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, but will give unto thine handmaid a man child, then I will give him unto the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head. And it came to pass, as she continued praying before the Lord, that Eli marked her mouth. Now Hannah, she spake in her heart, only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought she had been drunken. And Eli said to her, How long will you be drunken? Put away your wine from you. And Hannah answered and said, No, my Lord, I am a woman of a sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord. Count not thine handmaid for a daughter of Belial, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief have I spoken. Oh, I just lost my place. Have I spoken hitherto? Then Eli answered and said, Go in peace, and the God of Israel grant thee your petition that you have asked of him. And she said, Let thine handmaid find grace in thy sight. So the woman went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad. And they rose up in the morning early and worshipped before the Lord, and returned, and came to their house to Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and the Lord remembered her. Wherefore it came to pass, when the time was come about, after Hannah had conceived, that she bare a son, and called his name Samuel, saying, Because I have asked him of the Lord. And the man Elkanah and all his house went up to offer unto the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow.
All
But
praises.
that's right.
Yep, that was it. All praises. So I wanted to finish off with that story because, again, like she said, what were the key words? She was sorrowful. They made her fret so much and grieve, and her heart was grieving so much. So was her cup full? Would you say her cup was full? She was feeling 100%. Okay. No, she was feeling defeated so much so that it says here that she wasn't even eating. She wasn't even eating, taking care of herself right. Okay. But and her soul was bitter, and she was weeping year after year, day after day. Okay, but what did she do? What did she do? She got her cup, she
And
got
she
down on her
prayed.
knees, okay,
Mhm.
and she said, Lord, fill my cup, fill me up. Fill me up. I believe in
Yeah.
you. She went to him. She went and got this. She went and did what she needed to do for herself. Okay. And said, look upon me and thy handmaid. Remember me. Okay. If you will give me this. So she prayed. All right. And in Psalms 55 and 2, just to land back on that, it says, attend to me and hear me. I mourn in my complaint. So we'll hear your mourning. Remember, the Most High heard his children mourning and complaining when he got us out of Egypt. Okay. He will hear you mourning and complaining. You're in sorrow here in this captivity. Okay. Complain to him. Take it to him in prayer. But don't stay defeated. You have to take that cup and keep going. You have to take up that cross and keep going, just like he did. You know, we do not stay down. We do not stay defeated. We do not stay depleted. We do not let anybody take out of our cup, okay, and let it stay empty. Whatever you're giving out, pour back in. Pour back in. So we can give to those around us. And so, yeah, that story, she was sorrowful, broken heart, and weeping, but she took it to the Most High in prayer and she believed, okay? So, whatever it is you're going through, sis, whatever task daily you have, whatever family members are coming up against you, or you just don't see eye to eye, okay? Whatever debates you feel like is just a lot, okay? You are not defeated, okay? Do not let it defeat you. Do not. Because you need that to get, you need that for yourself. You need that for yourself. Fill your cup. That's Psalms 23. My cup runneth over. What do you need to do for yourself? Is it your job? Do you need to take more time? Okay, you're working 8 hours. How much time do you have for yourself at home when you go home? Do you have time to run a bath for yourself, the bath you love so much? Do you have time to do that for yourself? Because that makes you relax. That's where I get to fit. I don't know about y'all, okay? I want to get in the tub with the candles. That's my happy place. And then play my music. That's what fills me up. Okay. I read the word. I'm in a happy place. Nobody ain't in here bothering me. Okay. What do you need to do for yourself? Because master gonna take, and take. The world is gonna take. Family is gonna take. When are you filling your cup back up? When do you do that? Recognize that. Okay. And even if you don't see it, you should still be getting it in. You should still be in this word. So you don't get caught slipping. And one day you're like out there, like, hold up. I thought I had enough in my cup. Why am I feeling faint? Why am I feeling, whew, let me sit down for a second. Because you didn't realize your cup was about empty. Because when was the last time you got in the book? When was the last time you listened to the word? When was the last time you gathered around like-minded individuals? When was the last time you checked in with the sisters with wisdom? Okay. Whatever you need to do, fill your cup so you can continue to pour out. Fill and pour, fill and pour. I appreciate y'all chiming in with this conversation tonight. I hope y'all gleaned something out of it. Hopefully we could take this and just think about, dang, well, where my cup at, number one? Two, is it filled? If not, let me go fill it real quick. Okay. You know, because the devil gonna come. He gonna come. Is we ready? Are we ready? All praises. All praises. I appreciate every single one of y'all again. Thank you for just your spirits, your energy, your time, for clocking in so we can reap these benefits, y'all. Okay. All praises to the Most High. And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom,
praises.
Until next time. All praises. Love y'all.
Love you.
Love you.
Tawada.
Love you, lots of love.
I need you to fill me up,